back to another YouTube live. Today I thought we'd do a little bit of a weekend antics. We've had Springfest this weekend, so I want to talk about that. Talk a little bit about In the Big Garden, and talk just a little bit about the fact that the TT's here as well, and a couple of other little bits and bobs. Before we do get into some of the stuff I've just mentioned, I am just going to mention that I do have a track coming out on Excite Digital. Now, it's been a long time since I've sent anything to Excite Digital, and I don't really send stuff to them very regular anymore. And even before, when I used to submit tracks in the past, I didn't always do them all the time because I wanted kind of like each track to have their limelight for starters, rather than like one comes out one week and then next week I've got another one out. And then the other reason was I just got into like doing some other styles of music, and I wanted to kind of tackle a little bit of a different direction with the music, and it not be kind of like just known for like releasing the next remix. However, like for a bit of fun, I was still kind of like making remixes in the background alongside the main stuff I was doing, and very much so for sets. And then Excite got like a whole new kind of like update on its website, and you kind of got this like your own kind of like artist portal, and everything's kind of changed on there, and it's a really cool little system. So I was just kind of like curious, like I wanted to kind of see how the new system worked, and I submitted something I made a little while ago. I'd made it quite a fair while ago now, just to see like what it would, what the whole process was like now of like submitting tracks, and just thought, you know what, like it's not no harm in like just sending one like now and again. Like you don't have to send stuff all the time, and I'm still much like making a lot of other music, a lot of stuff with the layman outside of sending stuff to Excite. But I just thought, because I still do to an extent enjoy it, I just thought like now and again, if I've made something and I really think, you know what, this would be a cool one to just send into Excite or something, then I would like that. Then I'll send it in. Other than that, like I just mainly keep them to like playing my sets and stuff. So, it's a track called Lonely, and it comes out on the 15th of July. So it doesn't come out for a little while yet. It's actually just under 2 months away. So it's about 7 weeks away from coming out, so that there's a little bit of a there is a little bit of a gap of it coming out, and yeah, so you know there is a little while before it comes out, but I am very much excited just to see how it does, because it's a little bit different, and it's a track that has never been done before, and it is also like a track that you don't really see a lot of these type of remixes getting done. So I think there's a little bit of there is a small niche for it, I think, in terms of like I am bringing something out that hasn't had 101 different remixes of it, and it is something that I think will be like really cool. So it's a remix of an old Psy and Al Storm hardcore track, and when I say old, it's not like mega old, but it's all like it'd be fairly old now. I would say it would be kind of like something I would say that would maybe like being like I want to say like I'm gonna say like that it would be. Do you know what? I might see if I can actually find when it actually came out. My guess is I think it was somewhere around the late I think anywhere I'm gonna say in between 2010 to like 2013. Um Yeah, it actually came out in 2010. So it come out on Quash Records in um let's have a look on here. So Bandcamp. So oh I said yeah, I always thought it was 24/7. So 24/7 hardcore. Yeah, come out. Yeah, it came out on 24/7 hardcore as part of the Platinum Collective, from 24/7 hardcore. Um, so that's where it was like. That's where it got released. It came out in 2010. So a little bit old. However, I think it was one of them kind of rare hardcore tracks that very much a good track, but it just wasn't as big as some of the other tracks. And I always really liked it. I always thought the vocal was very catchy in it. So I did a little take on it and got a cover vocal of it and did a little bit of a sort of like a little bit of a bounce stroke a hard dance. It's got very much like hard dance elements in it. The first drop goes into a little bit of a hard kind of reverse bass drop, and then the second drop kind of goes back to your sort of typical sort of like average club sort of bounce drop with this catchy melody, which is really really cool. Really like it. So I just thought I'd share that. There is some other tracks that I've done that I am debating on. Like, do I give some of these tracks like, do I set like? There's another one I want to send off at some point. Once this one's kind of, I'm thinking I might submit it soon, just because like I submitted this one and then the release date isn't till like the 15th of July. So if they take another one, like if I submit another one maybe next week, then it might not come out till maybe in August or something, or like August, September maybe, which would be pretty cool for me. And then they're not just like coming out all the time, and it's just like, oh, here's this for a change, alongside some of the cool other stuff. Big ups to Denise. I do have to go like that to see the comments because my eyes are not perfect. So anyway, so moving on, it was Springfest this weekend, Springboard Festival that took place in Cottingham, just outside of Hull, across 10 different pubs, and there was music stages, outdoor and indoor, across these 10 different pubs. And we were performing with the Gig Buddies. So, yeah. Um, so we performed with our Gig Buddies band, Tuesday Tea Club, on Sunday at the Duke of Cumberland stage. And we had a really, really good time, but we did also run into a few issues as well. I would say the performance didn't go as smoothly as it did the year before. I think the year before was slightly better, but nevertheless, we still had a good lot of fun. The weather was absolutely. We were in the middle of a heat wave, and being stood on that stage, it was just too warm. Part of what we do as a band, we play some like loops on a laptop as well, and I think it was just too hot that the laptop just couldn't handle what it was, essentially what it was playing, which is a little bit of a shame because we actually had some really good drum loops on there, and then we kind of had to resort to using like an acoustic drum, and the vibe, like, it just wasn't exactly the same, like them drum loops on the laptop. They really help us out for what we do on stage. So not having them was, it was a little bit of a bind, but we still managed to get through. The crowd really enjoyed it, and sometimes I think messing up as well just makes the performance like that little bit more fun as well, rather than just everything going smoothly. And the fact that we just had a couple of little bits and bobs, and I ended up tripping over a wire. I ended up knocking a drink over. We just had a little bit of sort of like comedian kind of time on it, which was it was quite funny. But nevertheless, we really enjoyed ourselves, and that is what it's all about. I could have like been really like I could have come away from that festival and like penalised what we did, and I just you can't because I did it once with a gig a couple of years ago where I didn't think it had gone as well as it should have done. Me and the layman was doing a gig in a skate park, and I just felt I was really negative towards the event because I just don't think it went that well as it could have done. And really, I should have looked at the positives of that event and taken that away. And that is exactly what I did with Springfest. And we had a really good time, and the crowd absolutely loved and cheered what we did. And I still did all of my lyrics, which were really good. But battling the heat as well was definitely not the one. The fact we were battling heat was definitely like it wasn't helping our case. Really wasn't. But apart from that, I attended 2 days of the festival and really enjoyed both days. So I went on the Saturday. I didn't go on the Friday. You could have gone on the Friday as well, but I went on the Saturday and went and witnessed some of the evening acts, and met one of my aunties, well, a couple of my aunties actually, and witnessed some of the performances and stuff like that. That was really good. I went to see one guy in particular who is playing on our lineup for In the Beer Garden. That was kind of one of the things that, or one of the reasons I was going to the festival itself. That was kind of like one of the main reasons I was going on the Saturday, was to catch this person. And fair to say that he did not disappoint. So I'm really looking forward to actually announcing him and letting people know that this person's going to be on our lineup. This is like, this is going to be the main thing. This is going to be the proper shindig. But he was really good. He did not disappoint. And that was really, really cool. Like proper, really, really buzzing that he was, literally he was literally just so good. So when I announce him, I'm proper excited to do that. And then there was loads of other great acts that I caught yesterday as well. Some really good ones, some young artists, some just There was a guy on, Martin Gallagher, young singer, know of him. We have past and he come to one of the youth events, and we've always been kind of like sound with each other. And he did really good. He did a really good Oasis cover. He did some other really, really good tracks as well that I was like proper buzzed about. And he just played a really, really cool performance. And then we went and caught another band. Now I can't remember their name for the life of me. They were really good, really, really good. They did a cover of The Boys of Summer. And they also did the Cranberries with Zombie, and the Cranberries and Zombie, just that is one track that always seems to go down so well, and people seem to sing it, and it is a really, really cool. It's a proper vibe when you do play a remix of Zombies by the Cranberries. It just always seems to go down well, or if anybody sings a cover of it, it's just one of them tracks that it just seems to really do well. So that was really cool to hear as well. And they did some other really, really good songs as well. They did somebody, I can't remember who it was, sang Hit Me Baby One More Time as well, which was really cool. So I just had a really, really fun time, to be fair with you. And then I went back to Driffield and went back to the book, and it ended up doing something that I just never thought I'd end up doing. It was just really weird. I never thought I'd end the day closing a pub. And that was literally what had happened. I ended the day closing a pub. And it wasn't by choice, but I actually like I didn't mind doing it, to be honest. It was a little bit fun, but anyway, the point being, so I gets back to the book, and there was the other DJ on who DJs alongside me. Like, I do a weekend, he does a weekend. Anyway, he was there, and the place was absolutely dead. Like, there wasn't really anybody out. It was a little bit of a surprise, really, for a bank holiday. The sun had been so good. I don't know if like it was just busier in the afternoon when it was when it was daytime and sunny, but like all the pubs, like there just wasn't really anybody in them. And anyway, I'd come in, popped in to see how things are going on. And anyway, out of nowhere, he just decided he was gonna go and get food. And he was like, I'm gonna go and grab some food and then I'll come back. Did he come back? No, he didn't come back, and he just left it to me. Probably because he didn't want to play to a place that was empty, which kind of annoyed me a little bit because I thought like like it's not even meant to be my weekend on. You can't like text me and say like I want to do a full weekend because I've been away. I don't get on. I want to I haven't been on for a while. I want to do the next couple of weekends, and then because the vibe's rubbish or you aren't enjoying yourself, that you can just pass it back to me and I'll do it. Like, I'd been at a festival all day. I'd done my gig at the festival. I was just enjoying the rest of the day, just having a bit of fun. I'd been with my aunt and stuff, so I just I thought I'll call in and just carry on partying, basically, just enjoying myself and being among the vibe and just, go in and see everybody and stuff like that, rather than like, when you're kind of in a bit of a good vibe all day, you don't kind of just want to then go and sit at home. So I just thought, I'll go out I'll stay out for a couple of hours before I go to bed. Anyway, so it got left to me. Place was absolutely dead. So they decided to close early. There was only me and this other bar woman. So I just ended up, locking the doors and turning lights off and turning the bandit machines off, or the gambling machines, whatever you want to call them. And just like, turning the music off and just getting ready for the actual pub to close. There was like literally no point in like them really staying open because it was just that quiet. So I ended up doing that, which was a bit weird, turning the TVs off, and they were kind of just like, the woman really showed me like even things behind the bar and how to do things, and like, oh, you just get this remote and it turns all the tellies off, and and like, oh, they see, and I just kind of got a real kind of insight on like what actually goes into like when they shut the pub at the end of the night, or if they close early, what they actually have to do, and like what they do with all the like beer pumps and just how everything was done. It was actually quite interesting. Like, it was almost kind of like I learned a little bit of skills that I never really expected to learn, but now I kind of feel like, do you know what, like I just learned something from it. um you know and you kind of learn how like people, like when they've had a drink, they don't take information in. um like, it doesn't sink in. So it's like you basically, like, you tell people basically like, we're gonna close now, we stop serving. It's like 15 minutes later, they're still just sat there socializing, and it's like, we're closing. They're like, oh, I've just got half of this pint, and I'm like, yeah, but we told you like 10 minutes ago that we're starting to close, and like you just don't like make any attempt to drink your drink and leave. Like, you just, if like you sit there like it's not sunk in and you've got hours left. So anyway, so I went and helped them close up, bolted the doors, turned tellies off, turned the bandit machines off, just, typical, turn the thingy lights off, the disco lights, Went outside and told people sat outside, look, you need to, we're closing now, to remind them, and then yeah, just all that usual typical stuff. And then went over to another pub that was also dead. They were also like debating on like whether to close, and then went over to another pub where that was like on its like last sort of like 15 minutes before that closed, and that like closes at that time anyway, and just ended up having a game of pool with another auntie that was in there. And then that pub sort of closed, and then I just thought, yeah, I'm just gonna get something to eat and head home to head to my granddad's to bed because the TT's on the following morning. So I just thought, yeah, at this point, I might as well. There's no point, there was nothing to really stay out for, other than, just to be in somewhere where there's, hardly anybody in there. And, yeah, just like I say, decided to call it a day. Cottingham was most definitely better than Driffield. Like the pubs in Cottingham, they were absolutely even. They were rammed, and the vibe was like so good. So I literally just, thought like, in a way, I wish I'd stayed there, and I wish I'd like kind of just stayed at Cottingham and then just like come back to Hull after Cottingham. But like I'd left some stuff at Driffield at my granddad's, and I was watching the TT with him. So I just kind of thought, you know what, like I can't not do that with him. But in all fairness, like I would have loved to have just stayed in Cottingham and just stayed out in Cottingham, and then come back through the following, and then just like gone back to Hull. Because the vibe there was just so much better, and there was DJs on till late at some places. It would have been a really cool place. So it would have been good to have stayed there. I kind of wish I had. I think next year I probably will, just because like unless there's something especially happening, like I just would rather stay among like where there's a bit more of a energetic vibe. So yeah, that kind of marks Springfest, but one of my favourite festivals just because the variety of it is so good. Like, you want mixed music, that's exactly what you've got. You've literally got like somebody all the way like singing folk songs to bands doing rock covers to people doing their originals to pop covers to indie covers to there was even a girl playing ukulele or like banjo and almost kind of sounded a bit George Formby. There was just a really good mix of different music there all weekend, and it was just really, really good to see. I was proper buzzed to be a part of that festival again, and I hope I'm a part of it the following next year. I really hope so, and I think it's just a really cool festival in all fairness. So yeah, so moving on. Today marked the launch of the Isle of Man TT for 2026. Now, I've got a lot of friends. I've got a lot of people, and not really any of them are really into the not really into the TT. Sorry, I'm just reading something. Oh, ah, just okay. Yeah, so the TT started today. So I've got a lot of friends. Not really any of them are really into the Isle of Man TT. So there isn't really anybody that other than my granddad that I can really talk to them about it, and they'll like understand and they'll enjoy it and they'll want to listen. A lot of my friends, they're just not really into bikes, and then I do have a friend who is into bikes, like as in like he likes owning a bike, he likes going out on a bike ride on a motorbike, but his exact words was like he just finds the TT boring. He just finds the fact that the track is that long that like you see him whiz by for like a couple of minutes and then you've got to wait like nearly another half an hour to see him again. But there's a lot more to it than that. We as a family we were brought up among the TT because my granddad used to race the T. Well, he raced the Manx Grand Prix, which is it's still on the same TT course. The Manx Grand Prix were kind of like for classic bikes, and it's also like a lot of newcomers. They start with doing the Manx Grand Prix, and then they'll move up and they'll do the TT like for the first time. So like they'll go and do the Manx Grand Prix as a newcomer, and then they'll ride it for a couple of years, and then they'll become a newcomer in the TT itself. Yeah, so we've been brought up around it, and we love it. But I haven't really got anybody that I can really like friends like who I can talk about it with. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So it started today anyway. We've been watching it. So I bought a subscription called, well, I say subscription. It's just a live pass. And basically you can watch like the whole event on this app and like the live stream the full thing. And like, you know, catch every race, catch every practice session, and then just literally like see everything. And I've got to say, like it's a really really cool app. It's really really good, and it's good to catch like the live coverage in a different way. Normally we just yeah. Oh yeah, normally we'd listen to commentary on the radio, but this time, like, we could physically see the riders, you know, going round, which was good. So that was good, but then there was a red flag because there was an incident, and you'll probably see it like all over. Because one thing that really annoys me is mainstream news. So mainstream news, right? They don't share anything about the TT, right? Football results, they share it. Football results, they literally share everything. You know, what team's winning, what the current scores are. You know, they'll share the World Cup to the moon and back. The Isle of Man TT or any form of motorbike racing, they don't share it. They don't put anything about anybody's victories or anybody's wins or, anything positive. Rider celebrates racing for 30 years at a such and such race. They don't share anything to do with it. As soon as there's an injury, or as soon as like somebody gets injured or somebody dies, because that happens in road racing, or somebody, or there's a fatality or something happens, the mainstream news are instantly on it. They'll write a post about it. And what is really annoying is that they just get any old picture and they don't care what it is. And it actually is quite disrespectful to the event, because they put one up today because there was this incident today. And they put a picture up of Dean Harrison, who is a respected racer over at the Isle of Man, and he's been racing it for a good few years now. And the incident hasn't named anybody, so it doesn't mention any person that, any rider that was involved in this accident. They've not been named, right? But the news article, because of the picture, makes it look like Dean Harrison was involved in the accident when he's got nothing to do with the accident. And then they just, they don't write anything other than like copying and pasting the official statement. But there was like I say, one picture used Dean Harrison when no rider's been named. And another article Took a picture of Liverpool. Didn't even take a picture of the Isle of Man. Do you know what I mean? Just took a picture of like Liverpool and the fucking Liver building. Like, what is that to do with the Isle of Man? Other than the fact that you get a boat from Liverpool across to the Isle of Man, and and then you get all the Karens and the Susans in the comments like, said this years ago, the event needs banning, the event needs stopping, it's too dangerous. Listen, I'll tell you now, right? There is loads of sporting events that are dangerous. There is loads, right? Look at wrestling. All right, a lot of people penalise wrestling. They say it's fake, and nowadays wrestling, I do believe it's gone very much like drama and story driven, and it has got a little bit more faddy than it was. However, the like you pull back the basics of wrestling, and you've still got the fact that people are like jumping from heights. They're doing like flips in the air, they're jumping from things, they're still putting their bodies in quite a lot of danger. Even though like the fact that maybe the punching's fake and stuff like that. And yeah, they say like, they put stuff under the ring to make it a bit more softer and bouncy, but there is still a whole load of like yeah, just, do you know what I mean? You know, snowboarding. Skiing. Very, very, yeah, just, yeah, loads of dangerous sports out there, and like people choose to penalise the Isle of Man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Of course, the Isle of Man's dangerous. They're on public roads, racing, 200 mile an hour down some of the straights, right? Um, you know, but like it's gonna be dangerous. But then, like I say, there's lots of so yeah, um, and yeah, but the articles like they almost encourage it by like the way they display and share the articles. So yeah, that's anyway. That's the TT. Um, the rest of the practice is still due to go ahead. Starts from tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. I will be watching it because um, the program on the TT Plus. Yeah, I'm a really, really big fan of the way everything has been done this year to broadcast it. So good. The TT Plus is so good in terms of like, you just get to see like more than like if you just listen on the radio, like just the fact that like you can see like in the paddock, you can watch the interviews. Um, yeah, really, really good, proper, what you want type thing. So I can't wait to watch it again. And again, it's on Wednesday. It's on Thursday. Now Thursday, I am at work on the Thursday evening, so I'm gonna miss it sadly. If I can catch up, then that is a point. Can you actually catch up? I'm gonna go to TT Plus now because I want to see like if I could like rewatch today. Oh yeah, yeah. Look, yeah, you can watch it on demand, so you can watch them back. So I could like watch it back. It was on for 3 hours, 11 minutes, and 57 seconds before it got postponed. Not that I'd want to watch this one back, but on Thursday, like I am very much like gonna miss it. So we got like Tuesday, I guess. Let's have a look. So when is this? Oh yeah, so Tuesday. What else have we got? Qualifying two. Oh, that is also Tuesday. Oh, hang on. Yeah, Tuesday 26. Tuesday the 26th. Wednesday. Qualifying Wednesday, 6 p.m. Qualifying 4. Scheduled for Thursday. Oh, that's actually alright. So that's actually at 10 in the morning. So I might not actually miss it. So that's pretty cool. And then that's so there isn't actually anything on Saturday. Friday, sorry. So Friday is a free. There isn't anything on Friday. And then we've got the racing, which yeah, cool. Sunday, yeah, cool. Oh, I'm proper buzzed then. Because I thought Thursday, if it's on at 6 at night, I'll miss it. But like Thursday, I can actually watch it. I'll be doing that on Thursday, while I go and do what I do. Go to Weatherspoon. I have a bit of a more chilled day on a Thursday. So I'm pretty like I'm quite pleased that it's not, that it's not on at night when I'm actually at work. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so with that being said, what did I do last? What did I do? Oh yeah, I was at what? Yeah, I remember. I was on a course last. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna be watching it anyway. Gonna be keeping up to date. So I will be a little maybe less active. Because I will spend my evenings like watching the practice to tomorrow, and Wednesday as well. Although tomorrow I do have to go and help a friend out in his loft, which yeah, I need to do that. But hopefully we can finish that, and then I can like watch I can watch the live practice, providing like nothing changes, like, and they don't reschedule anything after today's incident. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully all goes smoothly. But we'll just have to see what happens. So before I do finish up on the stream, I do just want to mention about in the beer garden. Little update on that. So if people may or may not be aware, I'm putting an event on. You can watch previous streams to see kind of like how it come together. But I got an idea, decided to put an event on. I'm putting one on. Here we go. Wanted to do something a bit different to just putting a rave on. So we've got an event on with live singers, and yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. So updates with it is basically I am basically we're announcing the main headliner on Thursday. That's like our main singer, which I'm really looking forward to doing. And then next week we're announcing one final small artist, which is a DJ. And then we're like dropping the full flyer on the following Thursday. So a week this Thursday we're dropping the full flyer, and then everything is gonna really shift in promotion. Just been doing a lot of like social media promotion at this point, announcing artists, that kind of thing. Whereas once the flyers, like when I announced the flyer, like within the following week, I'm gonna be like, doing the physical promotion, taking flyers to the venues, the two venues for the main do and the after party, and just basically, yeah, really going to ramp up the promotion, really going to absolutely just go all out and really try and get this like as far and as wide as possible in the best and safe manner. Because I know like there is like legal laws in like where you can like promote stuff. And you can actually get fined now for just like sticking posters up in certain places. Whereas, before people would stick one in a bus stop, people had put them on like the side of a building, people had put them on a lamppost, You're not allowed to there's a lot more laws in like doing that sort of stuff now. So that's a little bit of a shame, but just how it is. So it is all about like, how we can do it in the like legal, correct and the safe manner, to get it everywhere. So I'm gonna like hit up some of the takeaways, gonna hit up some of the just gonna hit up like do like a good bit of flyering, essentially, and it should be really really good hopefully, and we can get this like absolutely booming everywhere. And then I've got some other bits of promotion I want to do as well. Advert in the local paper. Maybe also want to do like maybe an advert on the radio, depending. Just want a little summit in the paper. Really just to announce what's happening, and just a little story about how it kind of came together, which should be really cool. And then again, just takeaways, venues, that kind of thing, just giving it a proper little bit of a boost, and maybe do a little bit of a boost in some of the local areas as well. Maybe like just go to a couple of the villages and maybe just like the village shop type thing. Not that there's many village shops about nowadays, but the village pub, the village shop for the ones that are still about. And then just again do a small bit of flyering in Hull, just at some like main places, maybe like where people would like see it and think, oh, I might go and travel to this. Not saying like we just hit up a load of takeaways in Hull, but main hubs, like where I work, for example, a lot of different people come to our work for different services. So just having it in there, people might see it and think, what, I'm going to get a train and venture out that day, or I'm going to jump on a bus and venture to it. So that's kind of what we'll be doing in that sense. So yeah, that's pretty much it with in the beer garden. Really looking forward to it. Gonna be looking at the marquee tent this week, potentially ordering one and seeing what it will be like, and yeah, taking it from there. So that's going to do it for this stream. It's getting late, so make sure to like, comment, share, and we'll see you soon.